Howdy guys, how's it going? So here in front of us today, I have got my take on an urban survival backpack loadout, the type of bag that you would keep in your car, have at your office, depending on your office layout, what you do, you know, in your apartment. Just a nice grab bag that has everything in it that you would need to get out of the city. Now, this is designed for the type of areas that I would be going to, that I would be around. And my end goal would be to get out back into the woods and get home just / not a very highly populated area. So this kit might seem poorly balanced in some areas, and over redundancy in others. It really just depends on where you're from and what you're doing. But you know me, I'm hardly ever in any type of populated area by choice. I just haven't touched on an urban survival loadout of any kind in a while. And this is also meant to go alongside. This is my man purse. This is what I keep on my person at all times whenever I go out. So some of the things that might be missing in this are in here, like extra magazines for my concealed carry handgun. I always keep them in here. And I want to have this on me no matter what. I do have a video on this man purse loadout, so you guys can check that out. I'll link to it in the video description. The other thing too to note is I designed this loadout around this pack. So if this pack looks funny as far as the dimensions go, I can understand that, where I do have an IFAK on the outside, which could be forced to the interior compartment if you wanted to. I just like having it on the outside, so if you do keep this in your vehicle, which is where this would stay for me personally, if you got in a car wreck or something, this is in a position where you could easily reach down and get it. This is a Sunshine Safety First Aid IFAK. I showed you the contents of this. It's just your standard. We've got a cat tourniquet, Israeli bandage, chest seals, compressed gauze, and I think some quick clot. So that's what is in that. So we'll touch on our water bottles here on the outside first. On what is the left side, if I have it on my back, this is a Hydra Pack 1 liter bottle. I have 3 of these now. I love these. I take and I fill these up a lot and then just stick them down in the sides, like the interior insides of my backpacks whenever I want to carry you know, just water, because these are really durable, and I prefer this slimmer, longer profile over the shorter, wider profile of Nalgene bottles. And then on our other side, we have the very well known at this point grill filter. This is the 16.9 ounce, I believe. Like the other one, the standard one is 24. This one's 16.9. It fits the profile of this pocket very well. It's like the 24 one, the 24 ounce won't fit once you have items on the inside of this bag. And this would be just a quick, easiest and fastest filtering option. Now I do have, as always, as a lot of you guys have seen in past kits if you've been around, I have a redundancy of water purification and filter methods, just because that's one thing I just always want to make sure I have an ample amount of, and you can't really go too overboard when it comes to making sure your drinking water's safe when you're in a highly populated area. Bringing you guys in just a little bit closer here. So we have this front zippered pouch where on the outside we have this laser cut molly that we have our IFAK attached to. And so we'll just unzip that. It unzips down about 3/4 of the way of a clamshell design. Now where we have the IFAK on here, it won't fully, you know, come open, but you can take a gander inside and you've got that type of organization. We've got a zippered mesh pocket here. Now depending on why you're watching this video and whatever scenario you're wanting to play out in your head, like I said, this is designed to just kind of be a well-rounded kit, to have tools that are adaptable in a lot of ways. Some of these things could end up being rendered completely useless, and that, you know, that is what it is. So right here we'll just open this zippered mesh pocket to free up some space. I would have my Zoleo satellite communication device with me. You know, if cell towers and all of that stuff was down, then this gives another way of communication and, you know, contacting emergency services if that's something that would be an option in whatever situation you're in. So we got that. That's easily accessible. Okay, here in this little first aid container, I have got drugs. This is just Benadryl, hydroxyzine, so antihistamines. Got some salt, these are salt stick capsules, so things to replenish electrolytes. I've got some 800 milligram ibuprofen, and then daytime and nighttime Tylenol, and some anti-diarrhea tablets. So that is, oh, and there's a couple of just loose band-aids, but those have just been in there. That's not really that important as far as this little thing goes. Now, depending on the state you're in, I know some people immediately was like, don't have loose pills in an unmarked whatever. Just check your state laws, and you know, if they want to take you to court over having Benadryl and ibuprofen, then that's just, it is what it is. Here we got some loose zip ties, just some small ones, could be used for a quick gear repair, setting up a shelter. These are not heavy duty, like you're not going to be really locking any doors with these unless you use probably 4 or 5 of them. But these are just mainly for utilitarian purposes. If a strap or something broke on this pack, it'd be a quick, easy way to repair it. The other thing I don't think I mentioned is this pack is designed around wintertime as well for my area, to the best that you can with a pack this size, with this particular function in mind. So something that would go along with our shelter system that we have in here, this is, I think it's a Koopa or something like that. Anyways, this is a rechargeable hand warmer, and we'll talk about that more when we get to the shelter part of it. Then here, this is a GE Go, or a G-Go. Well, the pronunciation, I guess, could be either one. So this is a satellite tracking device. And this is really important if you live somewhere where people want to take your stuff. So, you know, I would be keeping this in my vehicle. If this bag was to get stolen, I mean, right now this is not even turned on, but if I was in a populated area where there was a high crime rate and I had to leave my vehicle and this bag unattended while I'm out with this bag doing whatever it is I am doing, if things got snatched up, most people probably wouldn't even realize what this is for a hot minute. So this would allow you to track down your stolen items and get your stuff back. At least that's the reason why I have this in here. So this is kind of technology heavy, because if you're in an urban area, you can take advantage of just a lot of electronic things in general. Then I think there should be 2 more things in here. Okay, so here I've got my Cyan Sky. I'll have all this stuff linked in the description as always. The Cyan Sky HS6R headlamp. I've been using this one in particular for well over a year now in heavy rains, cold temps, and you got floodlight, different modes. You got your red light, red flashing, and then you've also got a really powerful spotlight that gets super bright. The battery life on this thing is phenomenal. USB-C rechargeable like everything else in here. And then this right here is a magnetic USB-C to standard USB cable for charging stuff. And my main power source for this backpack is in the back compartment. But as part of this, is the one thing I will show you guys. The one thing that I keep in this satchel here is this Nightcore. The model is on the back here. The Nightcore NB 20,000, because this is a 20,000 milliamp hour battery. There we go. So a 20,000 milliamp hour battery. So this thing can charge my phone numerous times. And then, you know, if you needed to recharge headlamp, whatever, that's on me, because I also have a small backup headlamp in this thing right here. The ability to recharge my phone and headlamp and other items in this is like a really important factor. Endless number of scenarios you could find yourself in. And, you know, in a city, you could take advantage of tall buildings if you was able to get, you know, high up on a building and charge things, solar, that type of stuff. But that is everything that is in that mesh zip pocket there. So now we'll move to this back organization. Got 2 banana bags right here. You guys know I love these things. They replenish your electrolytes, glucose, potassium, all the good stuff that you want in your body, in your liquids. Plus, if you filter out some water and it still has a bit of a funky taste to it, this can help break that up. Okay, then, like I said, food isn't super important, but you do need to keep your energy up. Here I've got 2 range meal bars. For this compact of a size, each one of these things has 700 calories. So in that small package, there's 1,400 calories. and you could, you know, kind of ration that out as you need to. Here I've got just a little hand-rolled thing of Gorilla Tape, gear repair, blisters, 1,000 uses for that. It's everything right there. Now down in the bottom of this pack, and this might seem like a strange place to put it because it's not easy to get to, I have a fixed blade knife. This one, I picked this one just because this sheath design really lends itself to fitting down in the bottom of that pack area perfectly, like I needed it to. The name of this knife, I cannot think of the name of it. That right there is the company logo. But this is a D2 steel, very, very solid knife. Good thickness. Once you get to the woods, you can do any camp chore you need to do with this. And the profile of it and texture of the grip would make this a very, very solid fighting knife if it got to that for some reason. And it's got a very good retention on the sheath. So that is a fixed blade knife that we got. Then also extremely important, and also like a redundancy that is in this thing right here, is I've got a Silcock key. This is so that you can access the water spigots on the outside of buildings and stuff in cities, which so like those are abundant when you get into the metro areas and stuff. So just that's quick, easy water. Still would want to filter it. And all of that, but that's water source. That way you ain't got to drink out of mud puddles and take a chance on drinking out of a pee bottle. Okay, so we got that. Chapstick, it's winter time. I don't have a huge issue with my lips getting chapped for whatever reason, but there's, you know, plenty of uses for chapstick aside from that. And then finally we got fire. In the urban setting, you might not want to be making a fire, but I like to have options. You know, I always have an option like fire making methods on my person. But in this tin, we got a thick ferro rod and some fire plugs. Got 5 fire plugs in there, so that's 5 guaranteed fires. There's always combustible stuff in a city anyways. Here I've got a waterproof Exotac wind resistant lighter. There we go. She's burning. It's kind of hard to see that on the frame, I think. And then if conditions are very, very poor, you know, extremely heavy rain, or you're hypothermic, you need to get a fire going ASAP, this is an ultimate match. It's been a while since I've used one of these in a video, and this can even be used for signaling. I know with a kit this size, you might say, like, why not put in a road flare? And I mean, you could put in a small one, I guess, but I don't know, I just really like these. These are made by Enola Gay. The same as make those smoke grenades that they use in airsoft, and I believe militaries use them too, and they started making these like a year or 2 ago, but they work very, very well. And yes, that is everything in our little front zip compartment there. So, you know, for that small compartment, once you get everything organized in there properly, you can fit a lot of stuff. So, oh yeah, and then now at the very top, this is a sunglasses pocket. Now, as you guys know, I always have sunglasses on or with me, but due to the way that that's conformed, I don't really ever use it for that. So something that if you're carrying this pack with you just around, that can come in handy for tons of stuff. This is combat wipes, and they're just wet wipes. And I think these might also even be flushable. But yeah, I really like these for outdoor usage because they're biodegradable, so you can bury them if you need to do your business. But just wiping yourself down to freshen up, if you get something on you that you just need to clean off, these are really nice and handy to have. And they're really good quality, tough wipes. You know, they don't break apart or tear up on you real easily like some of the other ones do. Okay, so now we'll go to the middle pocket. Unzip it down, it'll open up easier. This isn't really prioritized in order that much because I wouldn't really be needing to access this pocket unless things was kind of bad, I guess. But here I've got a hank of Survivor cord. It's from Titan Survival. I have this in a lot of my kits because it has, aside from your standard 550 cord inner strands, it has snare wire, tender, like a strand of tender cord, and fishing line. So that gives you a lot of options. Once it was in like an outdoor area for a prolonged period, you shouldn't be. This kit's not really meant for that. This is meant to get home within 1 to 3 days. And any distance, like any place I go, that would be more than possible. So this is also meant to be our primary line of setting up a shelter, because if I'm setting up a shelter, it's going to be a plow point in most scenarios, just because that's good, reliable, and it's easy to do, or just a taco style, throw something over me, try to sleep, and then go from there. Here we have got, this is a hiker medic kit, but I have took most of the large bulky items in there out. Like there was a emergency space blanket, there was like a hank of cordage, and stuff like that. But in here, the main reason I have this is just like we have these large bandages, we have band-aids, we have blister pads, we have a little bit of burn gel. I added in another thing of burn gel. Yeah, there we go. We got like the super skin. Those are really good for blisters. There's some sunscreen in here if that was an issue. Just an extra stick of electrolyte powder. And I just thought those would be very fitting for a kit like this. Now here is our other water purification and filtration methods. So I've showed these before. I've got a Hydro Pack. I really like their stuff. Got their Hydro Pack filter as a solid flow rate. Recently back flushed that one. And then I've got one of their 1 liter compressible water bags. So that's an additional 1 liter. So with everything right here, I can easily carry 3 liters of water with me. And then we have the tried and true aqua tabs. I've got way more than necessary there. You know, you could sustain yourself with this water filtration and purification for a year probably. And yeah, so we got that. That is our water filtration stuff. Here, because communication's big, but mainly for the weather alerts and stuff, I've got a Bofang radio. A lot of the channels for like the weather and everything already would be a good way to communicate in an emergency. So like a radio is always nice to have. Here I took and threw in this nutrient survival. This is the chocolate grain crunch. So you can just take and eat this straight out of the packet. This has 240 calories, but more importantly, it has a lot of the nutrients and stuff that you would need that would be beneficial over the calories. So yeah, between the 1400, so that's 1600 and some calories, you can easily hit it, you know, go 3 days with that. I mean, you can go a week or two without it, but if you're moving and want to keep your energy and alertness up, you need to take in some fuel. Finally, in this pocket, I'm sure it's been staring you guys in the face. This right here is a County Com. I forget what they call this. Does it have a name on it? It's just got the cage number. But yeah, titanium, I'm going to call it a breaching tool. Just a great way, you know, if you're in, once again, an urban area. I feel like I'm going to be saying, I've said that 50 times already. But, you know, there's lots of immediate shelter options. But if they're locked and you need to get in a survival situation, abandoned buildings, whatever the case may be, this will make getting into it way excuse me, way easier and safer than trying to just rig something up. And this thing is a beast. You can't even tell because I've practiced on just some old things, just busting them open and cracking them open, and that right there is actually a really handy tool to have, and one that I have not really seen in any urban kits for some reason. But with this form factor, you can really you can bust your way into pretty much anything. You just got to make sure you're careful, especially if you're working in and around glass, because even though we got medical supplies to control bleeding, you don't want to ever have to use them. So that is everything that is in that pocket. So now we will crack open our big main pocket here. And so there we go. We're on the inside right here. We got another zipped organizer. There was one on this pocket as well, but I didn't put anything in it because it wasn't really necessary. So at the top here, now like if I'm just out and about, 95% of the time I have these leather gloves, a pair of leather gloves attached to my hip. But in the event that I didn't, here's a pair of maroon bell Leather gloves, these are very, very tough. They're black, so I mean they look like, you know, black leather gloves that people wear in cities during this time of year, I guess, as opposed to the country brown version. But yeah, so this would be really important to have on your person if you needed to use something like this to protect your hands from glass, sharp objects, if you're working around anything hot, anything that would be burning, if that's a scenario like a building collapse or something. You know, fires happen, so just being able to protect your hands are their most important tool at the end of the day, aside from your brain and your cool head. Then in that pocket I have extremely thick wool socks. These are more about putting on your feet if you know they start to get cold. I would just keep my socks on that I'm wearing. I tend to prioritize having good socks, good boots. So I've never run into an issue with that. Like, you know, wearing socks for 1, 2, 3 days straight, done it and not had any problem. I'm fortunate I've never had an issue with athlete's foot or anything like that. So, you know, you just gotta, that's gonna vary on your body type and stuff. But these are also multifunctional in that if your hands, if it was really cold, your hands started to get cold, you could use these as gloves, or I guess mittens really. If you had any gear that you, if it was getting really cold that you needed to insulate, like your battery banks or something, you could stuff those in here. You know, just kind of have to think out of the box a little bit, but having a really thick pair of socks. Plus, I mean, if I needed to change out my socks for whatever reason, I could put these on and still wear these in my boots. It would be a tighter fit, depending on which pair of boots I'm wearing at the time. But yeah, anyways, thick change of socks. Okay, right here we have got a poncho, and I wanted to go with the ORC Industries solid green poncho because it's solid green and it wouldn't stick out as much in if you had to wear it within the population of people. But this is actually not even a huncho poncho. It's just in a huncho poncho bag, but it's a similar camouflage pattern there. And it's woodland, so that is concealment once you get to a wooded area if you're needing to camouflage yourself for whatever reason. But I picked it up because it fit inside of this titanium cup. This is a 750 milliliter titanium pot / cup. This one is, yeah, this is a Vault Can 750 ml pot. We got a bell handle, we got that. That's if you needed to boil water. If for whatever reason all those other water purification methods got damaged or lost or something, you could still boil water. Or if you found canned food or something like that, and you had the time and the means to heat it up and eat it. Or if you're amongst people, you're trapped in somewhere and you want to make yourself a hot drink or something, there you go. Just use your imagination. So we got our main rainwear that we would use to cover our pack and just keep ourselves from getting wet. And this would be our main shelter option here. We could take and set this in a plow point, or we could just fold it over ourselves. If you're in, for me personally, I know if I'm having this in my vehicle, I'm going to have appropriate clothing with me, so that's important. You know, if you're somebody that doesn't ever dress appropriately for the weather because you think you're just always going to be going just from your vehicle directly into a building, then you just got to plan for that. Shelter, rain protection, and then as part of our sleep system, this is the SOL Escape Bivy. I tested this thing out last year, and this is the same one. So I've used it once. It's packed back up fine. And so yeah, I would have this overhead or folded over taco style. This one in particular reflects, I think, around 70% of your body heat. However, with what should be appropriate clothing we have, I can use this hand warmer, turn this thing on low and put it at the foot end of the bivy, and depending on the temperature outside, I mean at freezing, if you have this thing on low or medium, it will cook you out. Like, you cannot have this thing on high in an enclosed space like that with the reflective material, because you'll be sweating in less than 30 minutes. So that right there is a really, really compact quality shelter system alone. But then to go along with that, to be used with the shelter system, or if you just needed to wrap up. Let's say, you know, you got snowed in your car, or you was at work, the weather turned bad, you got snowed in, you had to stay over, power's out. This is the warmest and most compact blanket that I have found to this point. It's not the warmest, but it's the warmest and compact, and that is this gravel travel blanket. I've been taking this with me on my past few outings to have as a backup, but in case the type of sleeping systems and stuff I've been trying out wasn't quite enough. Hadn't had to use it during that time, but I've used this just sleeping with it at the house, and I have used it on an overnighter. I'd say it's just as, if not slightly warmer than a Wooby, and then obviously compact down and compressed super small. So really recommend this, and I mean, like, it's meant to be a travel blanket, so if you travel a lot, you might want to give it a look for that. Then down in here, I know this might be something that you think would want to have like in the front of the pack, but it's not really a priority in a city because it's laid out properly. But once you get kind of outside of the city, I have a global compass. This is my Sun 2 global compass. You know, just a nice high quality compass. And then depending on where I'm at, I would have a map. That would actually be something that I would slide into this pocket right here. If I didn't just have it out already, would be a map of the local area, and then you have a compass so you can navigate and at least tell which general direction home should be, and that's really important if you are in a situation where using the roads might not be the safest option. And then finally, and this is actually way easier to get to than you think because this thing fully clamshells down. Actually, this is not the last thing, but we'll go ahead and get it out. I've got a respirator. This is a parcel safety, what is it? It's like P100, I think. I have a link to it. But this is, I think, crucial to have in this day and age in a highly populated area. One, if, you know, a building collapse, terrorist attack, whatever, lots of particles and things in the air, and you know, I think I'm going to upgrade this to something that has like filters that could handle like nuclear type of scenarios. This is what I have right now, and this can also, the important thing is this will protect you against tear gas. So if you have a lot of people getting rowdy in the streets and you got caught up in the middle of it and tear gas got used and you was trying to get out and through that, this would keep you breathing good. Oh yeah, okay, there's actually one thing down here at the bottom of this that I threw in, and this is something that is why, you know, I would want to upgrade this to something that can handle radiation and stuff. This is something called ThyroSafe. It's potassium iodide tablets that is thyroid blocking. It's supposed to help your body, like protect your thyroid and stuff from radiation damage. Obviously, that's going to depend on how close you are, you know. Ideally, if it comes to nuclear war, I kind of want the bomb to land right there, you know, because the effects of radiation don't really seem worth it to me dealing with that. But if you're really far out and it's just like you're right on that little tipping point line at the far edge, then, you know, deploying a system like this and getting further away would be good. So there's that. Now finally, the last thing that we got in here, and this is why I was saying that this kit's really heavy on sustaining our electronic devices because those will be invaluable. This is the Dark Energy solar panel. And then here in the front, this is just the legs that can go on it, or a way to attach it to your, like to this backpack, so I could fold it over the backpack. It could be charging things while I am hiking and getting to where I need to go. If I need to stake it down, that is 2 stakes. And then this is the braided USB-C to USB-C cable that come with it. And then to show you guys the panel itself, super lightweight, flexible, very, very durable. And as you can see, it's a 3-panel system that folds out. Right there is the hub that will show you like the information of the power it's taking in, and then you've got your input and output right there. With this, you have unlimited power because for the types of devices that we're working with, and then the ability to store that power. Because, oh yeah, sorry, here's the Dark Energy 10,000, or this is actually a 10,200 milliamp hour battery, and this one, as long as you have the cover down, it is fully waterproof, shockproof, essentially freeze proof as well. And this is like not my new go-to outdoor charging bank that I carry with me for charging my phone and camera and all that good old stuff, and headlamps. So yeah, like I said, redundancies in those areas that you might not find necessary. Now, I'm big into bushcraft and all of that things. It's like at the end of the day, all of this stuff, pretty much all this stuff is not ultimately necessary. You know, I could get by, but this right here would make making it through a very bad situation extremely bearable and doable. You know, increases the likelihoods of survival by, you know, tenfold. So you guys, there you have it. We got that done just right as the sun was setting, as I was hoping we'd be able to. So, I mean, a really solid loadout. You know, my expertise is just mainly wilderness survival and doing things in the woods. For those of you that live in urban areas, or that's, you know, more your primary focus of concern, let me know what you would do different. You know, I mean, I've got other gear I debated on putting in here, and things in here I debated taking out whenever I was putting this together and designing it, like I said, again, around this particular pack in my head. But I think this really covers all the bases. And then you got to remember too, you got to take into account the knowledge and stuff that you already have, and the area you're in. So anyways, this video is probably longer than I intended for it to be, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you've not already, share the channel and the videos with your friends, family, anybody that enjoys good old outdoor activities and gear. Make sure to go back and check out all my other past videos if you haven't done that already. That way you can catch up, be up to date. Hit me up in that comment section, and until the next one, guys, adios.